Amazing.
Storm Chaser, only at Kentucky Kingdom and Hurricane Bay. KentuckyKingdom.com for special offers.
Need new tires, new brakes, or a car battery? Get them installed quick at Quick Lane at Byerly Auto Group on Dixie, where you never need an appointment and you'll always get a fair price. Quick Lane at Byerly features quick, reliable service weekdays 7 to 6 and Saturdays 8 to 2. Proudly serving Louisville since 1944. Quick Lane at Byerly Auto Group, 4041 Dixie Highway near the Watterson. Call 448-1661. That's 448-1661.
If you're a Christian and own or lead a business, you are in a unique position. You strive to serve God, your customers, and your employees. You may even wonder if there are other Christians who own businesses trying to achieve these same goals. There are, and FCCI has found them. FCCI, the Fellowship of Companies for Christ International, has spent the last few decades building a network of some of the nation's strongest CEOs who share your faith. We want to connect you with them. Join us September 18th to the 22nd at the Ritz-Carlton in Sarasota and meet well-known leaders like George Barna, Horst Schulze, the founder of Ritz-Carlton, and former Miami Dolphins and Marlins owner Wayne Huizenga Jr. Learn how to better steward your company for God with hundreds of other Christian CEOs at this year's FCCI Business Conference in September. The Fellowship of Companies for Christ International. There are only 100 seats remaining. Reserve your place today at fcci.org. That's fcci.org.
You're listening to Just Ask Joyce on WFIA, The Spirit.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I say us because we have Garrett Sivaking here. If you would like to view us, you can. You can go to WFIAFM.com, and in the uppermost right-hand part of the top of the website page, you'll see a little YouTube logo. Just click it on, and bam, you're here. You can watch us live and in action.
That's right. As
Garrett educates, informs, and prepares you, because he's the one really with the knowledge. I'm the one with the questions, and you may have one too. 571-2428-571-CHAT. There is nothing that Garrett can answer. You know, you can call in to Just Ask Joyce, and when I don't have the answer, I have somebody who does, and that's why I have Garrett here. Now, Garrett, we were talking about this Turkish attack, and they really should be alarming to us. But, you know, and I was just sharing with you off air that, you know, it's alarming because ISIS is, you know, part of Islam, but their agenda goes far beyond the Quran, far beyond it. It is not, you know, we were talking about they're no respecter of mankind at all.
No.
They just want to kill and destroy, and of course they're using their own people to kill and destroy.
Well, and like you said, you know, they claim Islamic. They Islamic is in the name, yet they're at war with what the rest of Islam compared to them. There is, you know, a lot with Al Qaeda. You saw a lot of denominational warfare between former terrorist groups, or the Taliban or Al Qaeda or AQAP, and with this, you see that they're basically saying, no, we are a totally different sect or denomination of our own, and we are at war with everyone else. So this takes in a whole new meaning and a whole new way to track and try to prevent these attacks. And like I told you off air, you have Western Europeans, Canadians, and Americans who are being radicalized, who are not even Islamic
by
to
internet.
begin with. Yeah, through the internet and social media. Yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, there is no territorial divide.
No.
I mean, you know, that's the curse of the internet. I think that may be our largest curse that we have. And, you know, of course, sexual immorality, maybe being, I don't know, maybe it's being ahead of that. But as far as a threat to us as a nation and globally, this sort of communication is lethal. It's lethal because it does not hinder them one bit. Technology has almost gotten us into a crack.
Yeah. Well, and that's why you're seeing Twitter and you will see Facebook. They haven't done it as been pushy about it, but Twitter is really starting to crack down on some of the accounts that they have, and you're going to see regulations coming from the European Union and European states as well as the United States on what you can and cannot view on Twitter. Of course, there will be a constitutionality question of that, whether it violates your freedom of speech.
And
but
guess what?
It probably will be taken
SCOTUS
down.
will probably uphold it too.
Well, they have a history. I will say this on the, for some of the previous courts. Of course, we have an issue here. One of our candidates will really change the outlook of the Supreme Court coming forward, and but they have in the past upheld a lot of security purposes, and they've gotten a lot of criticism from Republicans and some Democrats for that. But I think you're going to see a question. There's going to be a lot more pressure on the Supreme Court going forward, and
I don't think they care about pressure.
Well, I think they do care about pressure. I think that the justices do care, but
I'm not so
who's
sure because
pressuring them?
They're
is the question.
That's right. But their job's secure. I mean, can you get rid of one?
Yeah, you can. It's a difficult process.
It's a very difficult
process.
But when was it last challenged?
Well, you shouldn't have. With the Supreme Court, the way it's set up for a reason. Of course, there's checks and balances, and it is a lot easier to go after a Supreme Court ruling than it is to go after a justice. But with the Supreme Court justices themselves, you have to have some security in the sense that you don't have the pressure from outside groups. Now, you're seeing a little bit more of that, but the whole purpose of having that is if you have terms or if you have where you have to run, you don't want justices bought and paid for by changing themes, and that's important.
No, we don't, but for some reason I feel like that might have been already happened. All right, Sed is with us today. Hi, Sed, how are you?
Hey, Joyce, how you doing? God bless you. I love this tag team. Anytime you have Garrett there, you guys really, really provide us with a wealth of information.
We do our best now.
Yeah, I thank you. And, the question I have is sort of a little bit, tiny bit off the subject, but it has to do with ISIL. And here's what my question is. For a while, Syria has been a stronghold for ISIL, and they've done a lot of damage there, and there's been a lot of combat there. And my question has to do with the Bible's history regarding Syria. And, in Daniel, it talks about how the Archangel Michael was delayed because of the Prince of Persia.
That's right.
And that, that apparently there's a strong demonic stronghold there with that particular region. And, I guess what I'm asking, Garrett, is how much in the spirit realm are we looking at here with regard to the things that are occurring now, and Syria's involvement in all of this?
Well, Syria, as far as the governmental, which is what more I can speak to, Syria itself has been in turmoil for quite some time. And, of course, Assad himself was a shock to the world to be reelected democratically, and he was reelected democratically in an election that was deemed pretty fair the first time. Now, preceding ones have been deemed very corrupt, but because of his father was a very controversial and then later very weak leader of Syria, and in fact, Bashar al-Assad, the president of Syria, basically was educated in exile in the United States and returned to Syria. Radicalism in Syria has been on the rise for over a decade, like it has the rest of the Middle Eastern world. However, with the weakness of Assad and the fact that the people began to get very angry at the economic situation, radicalism was able